People are losing trust in establishment, the media, government, and at the same time people think that the businesses are competent to solve societal problems.
Welcome to the SEED Executive Insights podcast series, where SEED faculty members and invited guests talk about recent trends and insights from executive perspectives. I am László Aczél, SEED faculty member. In this episode, we talk to Béla Szabó, Brandcomms director of Magyar Telekom, about the concept and practices of CSR, purpose-driven operations, and brand activism. Béla, hi.
Hello.
Welcome, and thank you for accepting the invitation for the discussion. First of all, let me congratulate you for the SEED Award. What we collected why you received the award, because you came first, I think 3 years in a row now, right? On the Marketing and Media magazine and the Marketing Association's list. And also because some of the programs that Telecom is conducting, like Craft, the Most Generation, Hello Business, are somehow embedded into society and have a positive effect on general culture. And I think the jury appreciated this when...
Thank you very much for that. Very nice.
So what do you think? What was the background for this award? Do you agree that some of the programs that you're doing have this kind of social dimension?
Absolutely. I think, the background was that we were visible. My kind of professional life was visible for the jury from that angle that you just mentioned, that we want to actually highlight the brand, what the brand can do for the society in a different way. Mm-hmm. And we call it brand activism. Mm-hmm. This is connected to the purpose-driven marketing, but it's a little bit different, because purpose-driven many times is mistaken or somehow taken as a corporate social responsibility new way of doing this CSR program. And how we look at this, it's more than that. Brand activism want to be somehow more beneficial for the whole society, not just a small group, but make the society more conscious. And we somehow call off the whole marketing industry to do it all together. So let's actually elevate the society with the programs that any marketing brand or brand can do for their own company. And probably that the jury saw it as a good deed.
So let's dissect this slightly. So we have corporate social responsibility, which brands were doing in the last, 10, 15 years. I think most of our viewers and people listening to this kind of know what it is.
Yes.
And then that you say shouldn't be confused with purpose, right?
From my perspective, yes.
Okay, because what's the difference between the two from your perspective?
So corporate social responsibility is a program. So this is different, not necessarily connected to the brand. It's a different program, connected to something which the brand management or the management feels important. Mm-hmm. It can be connected to sustainability, to hunger, or education, or whatever, which not necessarily connected to the business. Mm-hmm. What is the primary functionality of the business? Even though the purpose, from my perspective, growing out of the business, like the primary transaction, the primary functionality of the business. Like if you are a telecom company, the purpose should be connected to telecommunication or digitalization. We can do a lot of things for corporate social responsibility, as helping the dogs or the poverty or what have you, but that's different.
So your name has become one with purpose in the Hungarian market. I think when somebody says brand purpose, I think your name immediately pops up. So that's something I think which you rightly brought into the, let's say, the general, marketing lingo. And not many companies were doing this previously or focusing so much on this. So how is Telecom's purpose linked to, so what is it? And then we'll talk about brand activism later on.
Okay. So our purpose is, in English, we call it like we digitally upgrade Hungary, which means that we try to actually showcase digital, the possibilities of the digital world from the benefit of progress, thrive, So what we want to achieve, that people understand how they can be better off with digital. It's not, our program is not only the digitalization, it's about the progress. So that's a simple one, but doing it as a whole company, as a company program, it's very much more difficult because we need to somehow look at our business from a different angle.
So when you came with this idea first, was there kind of a pushback from the organization? Did you find it difficult, or were they kind of very receptive?
It was very organic, and to be honest, it was driven by by our mother company, Deutsche Telekom. We developed it together 6 years ago, and as far as we were part of the team who developed it, even the management was part of the team. Our local management. So it was quite easy to somehow translate the international concept into the Hungarian situation. So from the beginning, it was quite nicely accepted.
I think a lot of companies where they go wrong is that they put some kind of purpose on their flag. And I guess it's not inherently linked to their business somehow. So whatever, it comes out of the blue or is an extension of their corporate responsibility stuff, maybe. Mm-hmm. So therefore it's a program and it's not embedded into the business. And two, somehow it doesn't work on an operations, product and other levels. So how did you manage to make this work on a deeper level?
For this, I use a Harvard Business Review article. It's called the deep purpose operation, meaning that you want to actually achieve an ideal situation when you make money, you do your business, and at the same time you do as good as for the society as you actually make money. So it's not easy to do both at the same level, but that's the ambition. And the win-win situation is that when you actually look at every single momentum of your operation from this perspective, acknowledging that not everything is the same level. Mm-hmm. I need to admit that at Telecom, locally, the business objectives are more important, like delivering our business requirements. But we always look at what we can do for the purpose. Now we actually have a lot of programs connected to our brand management, a lot of service and products which is connected to the purpose, and we basically also transform the communication to be somehow the motivation for the society, what the digital can do for them. So altogether, this is very purpose-driven operation, but not in an ideal case, I need to admit.
So all of these programs, which I just mentioned previously, are they somehow also linked into the purposes you mentioned? So Hello Business, yes, and Craft or whatever. And do they kind of talk to a specific segment within this?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, that the purpose is not about the digitalization only, it's about the progress. And we actually, we have three major segments, very simply, the B2B, families and youth. So these are big ones, but we are the mainstream brand, so we have to work with big segments. And we created programs for all segments in a way which is connected to the purpose, the progress. So the Hello Business is not just about digitalization, it's about what the small entrepreneurs can do for their business to thrive. Mm-hmm. And the Craft, which is our youth platform, basically help the young people to experiment, to check out what they can do with digital, how they can actually be better off. If they have any idea, they can actually come to our Craft Lab, which we only have one in Debrecen, but we're gonna open the next one, announcement, in this building, in the Telecom headquarters. So also, people can come here to try out themselves, and we give them voice that they are actually can achieve more together. If they work together, collaborate together, they can achieve a lot of things. So I think it's quite a good program for the young generations. So it's about, again, the progress and the improvement, not just the digitalization.
So how is brand activism then taking all of this to the next level?
We got to the point. So exactly this.
Or is it taking it to the next level?
I think so.
Or have you
Because,
just gotten tired of purpose?
Nah, it's very valid point actually. We talked a lot for many years about purpose, but we don't leave it. We just wanted to say that brand activism is a more active purpose management, more active, for us as well. So even we should do even more, meaning that more products. So we should actually step up to the next level as a company, and we try to help it with our operation, the brand management operation. And at the same time, we would like to actually invite the whole industry, so to say, marketing industry, that they should also be more active, meaning that not just selling products and doing managing the sales, but at the same time, devote some money out of their budget to run their own purpose. Because I'm quite sure that everyone has a purpose by now. So that's the point, that even you don't really operate publicly according to your purpose, you have one. So once you start actually activating your purpose, showing publicly that this is also can be a good deed from this company, any company. So that's a brand activism at country level. For example, the pharma companies, they spend a lot of money on advertisements, and I totally agree and understand that they push the products because the competition is fierce. But at the same time, I think if they can actually elevate the people's consciousness about health preservation, not health management, so to say, like how to stay healthy, I think it would be also good for them, because their business wouldn't be different, but at the same time they somehow would prepare the whole nation for the future, because I think the health management is going to be even more difficult than today. So once they actually start pushing this consciousness, the knowledge, then we will be better off. And
so that's
today
they don't call out to the health industry to,
for example, them, but
to
everyone.
kind of preempt diseases and stuff by communicating.
Yeah, for example, one of the biggest problems in Hungary, the health problem, is obesity, and this is a very stupid example, but this is an example that there is this OTC product called Bilagit.
Yeah.
And this is very insightful that in certain environment, people don't stop eating, but rather take a Bilagit and then continue eating, even though they are full like hell. So this is not good, because it actually suggests, I think wrongly, that you can live your life whatever badly that you do and just take a pill and it's gonna be okay. It's a wrong perspective for the whole society, I think, because taking pills will not fix anything. And if you want to actually preserve ourselves for our kids and for our loved ones, we need to be a little bit more knowledgeable regarding our health. And
Yeah. So you're saying actually brand activism is I think you said you try and involve not just but the whole of society and other companies, organizations as well into this. Are you publicly or not so publicly, are you trying to engage them in some kind of dialogue or conversation, or are you just leading the way and by default and showing how it should be done?
I try to engage us into a discussion. Not easy, because I'm not having any association position or any industrial position. I just try to actually write some articles on LinkedIn about this. Yeah, there's some traction with this article, but not big enough, I need to admit. But I think I still, follow this up. I mean, continue this operation, and I try actually find partners to actually come together and showcase, some solutions, collaborative solutions. Something is boiling up, but not substantial. But there is something that will come in the future.
Let's try and we can use this opportunity as well to
thank you,
publicize and get other companies on board. Do you think the whole root cause of this activism and purpose is because customers, and maybe is it a generational thing, I don't know, have lost kind of their trust in society and politics and whatever, so brands are also kind of looked to as a shining light or beacons or something to provide some sort of direction in the way that things should be done?
Oh, that's a big question. Yes, in short, yes. The brand should step up because the brand building opportunities are different than previously they were. Previously, the brand should have been like an imaginative something or the identifier for people and stuff like that. But now, I think the brands replacing the power of products. Product innovation is very difficult these days because it's easy to copy anything, and not everyone can be a startup. So brands come as a replacement for the power of the product innovation. So the differentiation should come with the brand. So this is one. The second is, brands now have a bigger trust situation, so to say. This Edelman Trust Barometer, I think that you referred to this one, suggests globally that people are losing trust in establishment. The media, government, and the NGOs and businesses are coming up. NGOs are the most trusted, but they are less competent. Mm-hmm. So businesses are very much trusted to solve societal problems, economical, societal, even big global problems. And at the same time, people think that the businesses are competent to solve these problems. So I think, these two together, that, the communication-wise or marketing-wise, brands are more important than ever. And at the same time, people feel that brand can actually be the solution for big problems. So altogether, this provides us, with the importance of brand activism and purpose.
Yeah. Is it also an opportunity maybe for brands to work more together with NGOs and other
Absolutely. I totally believe that, we should work more with NGOs, but in a different way, like we do when we do corporate social responsibility, because that's mostly about money. Yeah. Corporates are giving money for NGOs, then they can do their job. Mm-hmm. Now we can actually work together as partners, beside the money, to actually somehow ambition to solve a problem. We should find that kind of problem for us as a corporate that we can have a solution for. Yeah. And the solution can come with the NGOs.
So the next subject I just want to touch on is, has your leadership profile changed somewhat or significantly with this whole evolution in purpose and now brand activism, whatever? How can you motivate your team? I think it's SEED. One of the things we say in our course, like the basis for motivation is actually purpose, and there is a study by Humu, which I think says, Mr. László Box company, which says, I think companies with a strong purpose people are, I think, 9 times more likely to stay with companies who have a strong sense of inclusion, purpose, transparency. I don't know what else there is. But kind of sharing this purpose within the team and the company and being a leader and I guess is your job. How has this changed over time more?
Yeah, I think, a lot of things change because of the circumstances, not just because we do this operation. But I think, first of all, we have to have strategy. We have to develop a more thorough strategic thinking, which is not as easy than to say, because what exactly strategy is and what exactly anyone within an organization has got to do with strategy. So we need to actually make the strategic understanding better. This is one task of a leader. The other task is to somehow elevate the people's strategic operation. Like they need to not just understand, but somehow deal with it. At least, my little team should develop around this requirement that they should somehow own our strategy, the brand strategy and business strategy. And the biggest change is that brand and comms team, if I stay with my professional area, we have to understand better the business. Mm-hmm. And this is very important, and that's why I also took this opportunity to go through the MBA program with SEED, because we have to understand the business requirements at a level that we are not just the servant of the business needs, being a brand and comms guys, but partner. So we should be able to somehow provide a balance between different decisions regarding the product development, distribution, sales, with not just, the final touch, being a communicator, but, the balance, the level of balance, meaning that probably that solution better for the overall company and our overall operation, even though in short run it doesn't give us sales that that level that the other solution would do. It's not the sales marketing difference. It's more like we help the communication between the two units or two departments, so to say. So our leadership program also connected to the business program.
So you act as a kind of middleman, or let's say translator or something, or providing more clarity?
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't say that we are the solution. We just somehow try to step up and also showcase the customers in a stronger way for the organization. So that can be a solution trigger, not just a statement on the wall that we are customer-centric. My team should be somehow delivering the insights and the customer understanding in a new level for the whole operation. Therefore, better products, better decision would come from a commercial perspective.
If you think back to your seat, because you're a graduate of the MBA program, was there anything that sticks out if you remember back, or something which you found different or unique, which helped you in this journey?
Everything. That was a very interesting and great program. I think the whole setup was very good because the whole weekend you could focus on one topic, and then the whole this homework and the projects were great. Sometimes I really I'm just wondering how could I actually go through this program that smoothly. I think that's the beauty of this program, that it gets you in. But what was sticking out for me, it was the entrepreneurial program. We went to this summer school, and I took this course there for 2 weeks, the entrepreneurship, and also within the classic program was also one piece was about entrepreneurial thinking, and it was great because it actually not just talking about the practicalities, but also the theory of being an entrepreneur, which was quite new to me. So I really liked it, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, which as my personality, I'm not that kind of personality that being an entrepreneur, but now I actually somehow got it, like what it takes to be small or big entrepreneur. And also the teacher was quite an interesting character.
Do you think it's important to be, I think you are, knowing you for many years now, I think you are entrepreneurial within your organization. Not like an entrepreneur who is like an entrepreneur, but I think you're very entrepreneur. Does that help you as a leader, being entrepreneurial within large organizations, or do they treat you as somebody who's entrepreneurial? Absolutely. What I learned also at the seed, that helped me with this one as well, like being an entrepreneur. I might come back to this a little bit later, but also being, as I told you, that we need to be more savvy, commercial savvy. It definitely gave me a lot of knowledge about it. And, when I actually do some structure at workshops, within the company, they said like, "Oh, Béla, you actually did some MBA." we can understand that, because I got to be a little bit more structured than I am usually. And being an entrepreneur, we call ourselves within my team as brand entrepreneurs, meaning that we should treat brand comms as an asset which help the business to grow. So we should actually somehow look at it from this self-starter point of view, not from the routine point of view. And we need to be quick, and we need to somehow understand what the brand would give to the business and this kind of stuff. And we have a lot to do with it, but still, I think we are much better off within the company by that. If you could give, let's say if you wanted to give some kind of piece of advice for aspiring leaders, maybe in sales, marketing, communications positions, or maybe elsewhere, it doesn't matter. For next year specifically, what would you say as words of wisdom for aspiring leaders? What do you think they should concentrate on?
Listen, I think we all should concentrate on the culture. Mm-hmm. I was very lucky today to talk to Rob Campbell, who is the strategic director of Colenso BBDO in New Zealand, and he's a global guy. I actually went through a program, the brand strategic program, and he was one of the teachers, and I got to have one-on-one with him, and he's very known of the cultural strategy, so how brand can be part of the culture in a sense that you are able to change behavior from the perspective of business and from the perspective of the society to be better off. So I think we should be a little bit better student of our culture to be able to change, our and every citizen's behavior for the better. And I think it requires more strategic thinking and more openness and empathy towards what's going on around us.
So the more businesses or people understand, because their environment and the more empathy they have towards the better they can influence this culture?
Yes, absolutely. And culture means not culture like theater and music, but culture means how we operate within a society. Mm-hmm. And if we actually cognizant of different subcultures, for example, doesn't mean that underground culture, but we can focus on not personas, not day of the life of the customer, but we look at the segments from a cultural point of view, how they live their life, not how they live or should live in connection with us as a corporate or brand. We somehow will be able to deliver better products or services, which actually help them to cope and also help them to grow and do something better compared to the previous period.
What about internal culture?
Very important. Internal culture, it's an interesting one because there is this guy, John Ledger, in the T-Mobile US, and he was really a challenger guy with a challenger company, but if you actually look at Deutsche Telekom as one big global company, it's not a challenger one. But there was one little part, T-Mobile US as a challenger, and it actually taught us a lot that we don't have to be that much of a corporate guys. And John Ledger started to wear different clothes. And when we started this journey, the purpose journey, we also actually thought that probably we should be somehow less corporate. Not challenger, but less corporate. And that's why we introduced this t-shirt culture, meaning that people can buy t-shirts like this and wear it even at important meetings. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wear suits or shirt because it's not about how you behave, but what you do and what is your ambition and so on and so forth. It's actually work quite nicely. If you look around in the building, not now because it's a little bit from time to time because of the home office empty. But if you actually meet people, you can actually recognize that they wear t-shirt, all kinds of different messages on it. So I think it's an internal cultural change, which was very nicely accompanied by the agile operation. Agile means, less hierarchical operation, close to the business, end-to-end, teams. Everyone is actually somehow slice the projects as small as everyone feels that I can actually have an effect or impact on the project. And this t-shirt culture very nicely came together with this new operation. So altogether, I think Telecom's culture got to be more vivid, more contemporary, and more, behavioral change and more cultural. Long way to go still, but I think we changed a lot in the last few years.
Honored a couple of years ago to be invited to an event, which was this WPP event called Stream, which is called the Unconference. And I know you also took part in this recently. And I think, I guess there are some learnings to be taken from it in terms of working together, in terms of how a conference looks nowadays, or how subjects can be discussed with your peers. What did you think? What was special about it?
Absolutely. I think it was very nice. It was very nice to experience that when people are coming together around one topic and discuss it, even sometimes arguing with each other, but very actively, not behind the scenes. It's very powerful because you learn immediately a lot, and at the same time you can test your opinion or your knowledge, whether this is good enough or there is some flaws in it. And we have a lot of conferences now in Hungary, and they are very good. Topics are very good, but these are just listening. Like we never test in public our opinion. We usually go to talk in a round table discussions, which personally I try always to be a little bit more provocative. Even I'm one of the participants. But we usually always very nice together to each other. And the stream conference actually just showcased that we can be still nice to each other, but at the same time, we can argue. And somehow we don't have that here. We either nice or we are provocative, and somehow we don't argue with each other. I think some more arguments, some more quarrel, more different opinions would be nice. And when I talked about the brand activism, that was it. I have this view. I actually make it clear that I think certain industries, categories can do better, and I'm somehow open for criticism because of this.
Yeah.
So I can live with it. I don't want to be nice necessarily, and that you could actually learn it in at stream. It was quite nice. Very uncomfortable at the same time.
Why?
Why? Because it's you have to be active with strangers. You never know you are stupid or you are smart. When you start talking like, oh, okay, so I'm saying this, is it good enough here? So you need to be a little more self-confident to state that this is your opinion. And it was never a problem. You never got there any criticism of your opinion.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah, maybe it's an idea.
Absolutely. A new breed of conference.
Yeah. Okay, Béla, thank you very much for the discussion, and we wish you all the best with your brand activism at Seed, and see you and your colleagues in one of our programs.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for inviting me.